Did you know that by the end of 2022, console gaming is predicted to make over $61 billion in revenue worldwide? You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode 116. My name's Gareth, I'm your host, and on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Hello there. I'm not too bad, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm really
good.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. What else can I say? Feeling good.
Sorry to hear.
That sounded like someone who's about to have a breakdown, doesn't it? I'm feeling good. I'm all right. Yeah, what's wrong?
Yeah, seriously.
Just crying. And on my virtual right is Mr. Richard Dobson. How you doing, Richard?
Hello, everyone. Good, thank you. How are we all doing?
Very good. Very good. As good as me. And on my virtual opposite is Mr. Darren Edwards. How you doing, Darren?
I'm very well, thank you. I can just about match those enthusiasm levels, I think.
Good. Good. Well, it's wet, it's windy, it's especially in the north where you three are from.
Indeed.
How's your week been? James, what's your week been like? What have you been doing?
Well, as I mentioned last week, I had a big weekend of wrestling coming up. Not me personally. I did no wrestling. But I watched ChocoPro, which is a small wrestling promotion that's in like a small dance studio, and all they've got is a mat on the floor and a camera. That is it. It's so simple, yeah, it's very entertaining, and it's free. So I watched their 200th episode, which went across 2 days. It was 2 hours each. 2 episodes, and I think to sum up how good or strange ChocoPro is, the second day it started with a match which was 2-on-2, and they were singing, plastic hammers, and then like an amphibious lizard creature, and that's how you start the show. If you don't start that, then why bother? But then at the other end of the scale, the last match was 2 warriors fighting in a last man standing match. And that went outside, which is crazy. It never goes outside, really.
Wow.
And one of the guys jumped from the next floor up through a table. So it's pretty wild.
If you haven't seen ChocoPro, anyone listeners out there, go and have a look at that on YouTube. It is kind of amazing because it is exactly how James described.
Yeah, I mean, it's free. You've got nothing to lose.
No.
You might as well.
James, my question to you is, it's getting bigger,
Yes.
isn't it? It's getting quite a lot of fans. If they get...
You've got 18,000 subscribers.
It's amazing. YouTube. And if they're going to get... Say someone goes, oh, we really love this. We're gonna give you a bigger place. Would they do that? Because it would take away from the kind of idea of just a dance studio.
I don't think they would.
No.
I mean, they literally go week to week on a limited budget, and they don't have to do it really anymore because a lot of places are letting you wrestle with audiences and for real money. But they do it. They don't take any money, to watch the show, and they just love doing it, and you can see it, and that helps, I think.
Yeah.
If they're enjoying it, we enjoy it. It's just a really good community.
Oh,
nice.
It. I like that, James.
Come join us.
Yeah, come and join James and the ChocoPro. It's good. It's definitely worth. Richard, are you going to join him? Wrestling fan?
No.
Oh my god.
I sat there.
Yeah,
Yeah, for Christmas
I think
Friday.
we'll talk about wrestling a bit later on as well, aren't we? Where I have some on the state of it.
Okay, good. Well, Richard, what have you been doing if you're not joining ChocoPro Wrestling?
I think. Well, I was also busy staying up late and watching sport, but I watched the Super Bowl this weekend just gone. This time around, it was the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. So me and my friend that watch it every year, we were just relieved that it didn't have Tom Brady in it, which meant we could enjoy it as a proper neutral, and just enjoy it for what it was for a change.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Richard. I don't know anything about the Super Bowl, so I can't ask a question. But who won?
The LA Rams won.
Oh.
They were the team that had played really well all season. Whereas, to give it a bit of context, so the Cincinnati Bengals over the past 2 seasons before this one had won a combined total of 6 games out of 32. So they've for them to then get into the final basically of American football in the following season is a really big deal. And had they won it, I think it would have been put across as non-American football fans as almost like Leicester winning the title.
Right.
Fortunately, they didn't win, but they were very, very close. I think there was only 3 points in it in the end, which isn't much in American football.
No, great.
But yeah, it was a really good game. And then obviously they had the halftime show, which featured Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent. That was excellent. That's gone down really well, and a lot of people are saying that it's one of the best halftime shows for a very, very long time.
Great.
Yeah,
Good.
I think that was about 1:30 in the morning, and some of them can be a bit boring, but that halftime show really got us pumped up and excited.
Oh, good. Where I live in London, I've got an American football team that train near me. So it's on Sunday, I can always see them. I always like watching them train, doing all their kind of like their plays and trying all those out. It's really good.
To join in?
No, never. I can barely stand, Richard, now. I've been thrown against a wall or something. Darren, what about you? What have you been doing? Something exciting?
No. So just work, really. We went to the cinema last week to see The Kingsman, just because we had an evening, fancy going to see something. And then the day after it came on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
It was really quick, yeah. I thought, oh, right. But actually, I quite enjoyed it for what it was, so I don't regret it, and used the Meerkat movies and stuff, so it didn't cost much. I watched a bit of the Super Bowl. I kind of I get swept up in it every year, and I always forget how it works, so I have to like relearn the rules of the game every year when I watch it. And I stayed up for the halftime show, which I agree was kind of just brilliant, and then I kind of gave up then and went to bed shortly after it. But yeah, that's about it really from me for the week.
Yeah, good. I've been listening to something. By the way, there's 2 things I'm going to do. First one really quick, Murderville, that I think we mentioned on the podcast. Watch Murderville on Netflix. You want something fun. It's very good. But the other thing I've been listening to is another podcast called the Battersea Ghost Podcast, and it's a BBC podcast. And the Battersea Ghost is 1957, kind of, or maybe earlier, 53, story about a really famous ghost, like the Enfield one, but the really famous ghost story about a poltergeist in a house. And it tells these episodes over 8 episodes. It tells the stories by a dramatic kind of recreation, but also people getting interviewed from the past. So it mixes fiction and non-fiction together. It's really good. It's really, if you want a podcast, you want something different, have a listen to that. That's what I've been listening to. Enjoyed it. Yeah. What have we been playing game-wise? Darren, I'm going to start with you. What have you been up to this week, games-wise?
So if our best laid plans come to fruition, then the embargo will have lifted by the time you hear this. And I've been playing a game called Submerged Hidden Depths. So the original Submerged was released, I think it was around 4 or 5 years ago. And essentially, the city has been hit by natural disasters, rising water, and it's submerged, as the title suggests, and you play as a couple of young siblings who explore the world by zipping around on a little boat, scaling buildings, and whatnot. So it's billed as a bit of a relaxing game, as opposed to there's no combat. So the purpose of the game is to have a relaxing experience. So we've talked on the podcast before about a game that feels more like an experience, something that's kind of almost done to you rather than you go and play it in the traditional way. The original came in for a bit of criticism around lack of content, and I believe the engine was plagued with bugs and stuff as well. So this is the sequel, which it came out for Google Stadia as an exclusive originally, but given what's happened to Stadia, I'm not surprised now that it's been ported to other consoles. So I've been given a code to play an hour with it, and it looks brilliant. I think it's optimized and stuff for XS as well, which is great. And it sounds beautiful. It's like a kind of very piano heavy soundtrack in the background. There's a day-night cycle. There's lots to find and do in this one versus the original. Still no combat, so it's the same core gameplay element of just providing a really relaxing experience. But I can't wait to play more of it. I really, really like the look of it. And my thoughts will be on the site as well by the time you hear this. So please have a read and check it out.
When's it out, Rich? Darren?
That's a good question. I'm not sure exactly when it's out, but it's not long. So I believe the code that I'm playing is pretty much there or thereabouts in terms of the final version. So I think it's only a few weeks away before it comes out.
Yeah, I think it might be March. Actually, I might have seen something for March sometime. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Who did the first? Did you review the first one, James?
James did, because I read it.
Gone. James is gone. He's had enough.
Oh, sorry. Just taking on the technical issue there. No, I don't even remember it, so if I did, then that's quite worrying.
Yeah. Good.
Is it any good, the first one? I can't remember.
I've not played the first one, but I believe, it was... people praised the idea, but the execution wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I said a quick look at it.
Good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Richard,
it's your type of game, Gareth.
I know.
You'll really like it.
I think I will, won't I? Richard, what about you? What have you been playing? I think you might be playing my type of game as well.
Yeah. I know that we both put our names down for this one, but I've just submitted the review for a game called Nostalgic Train, which is very much a walking simulator set in a Japanese town called Natsugiri. You arrive there without any memory or recollection of how you got there. You're the only person in this town, and you sort of need to piece together just what's happened, not with just yourself, but with the town as well. So it sort of starts off with these seemingly not connected stories. So the first one involves a child getting swept off down a river, and there's a preserver, like a rubber ring sort of thing that you pick up, and then you need to get onto this train, because basically that rubber ring shouldn't be there for whatever reason. So you need to get on the train with this, holding onto this rubber ring, and then this train sort of does a loop around the town, and then the story can take a different path because you've changed the course of history by removing this object. And then as it progresses, it sort of builds a bit more of a story as to why this town's here in the first place and why there isn't anyone there. And as a story, it's very, very good. It's really, really interesting and original story. The review that I've submitted, I've only given it 3 stars though, because so like my argument is with it, if I was to play another walking simulator, like Firewatch or Vanishing of Ethan Carter, there's other stuff to do in those games. And also your actions are mirrored on screen, whereas with Nostalgic Train, it's just walls and walls of text. And this rubber ring that I've mentioned, you don't actually ever see it. You walk into like a thing, like a spherical piece of light on the floor, and then it will tell you that you pick up this life result.
Oh, okay. So you're not doing anything. It's such
No.
true. Yeah. Okay.
Everything in the town's static. You don't interact with anything. And it will tell you.
Sounds perfect to me. 5 stars.
No, I just wanted something.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
But it's a shame because the story is really, really good. But yeah, it's just there's nothing to gamify it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It is if it was a novel or a short story, it would be the same experience.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's good. How much is it? Do you know? Can you remember?
£11.74.
Oh, okay. A little bit over what I expected.
Yeah.
James, you've been playing a game I've not even heard of before, so this is no surprise. Tell me about it.
I think it's going to be your cup of tea.
Ah,
I think I love this one.
good.
It's called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc Anniversary Edition.
It's got Gareth written all over it.
It's a murder mystery visual novel, essentially, with some gameplay elements that you might find in Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright. So it's a little bit of that in it as well.
Yeah, I love those games.
Yeah, it does it really well in this. It's set in a school known as Hope's Peak Academy. It's the most gifted students in Japan. So everyone there, you got the best pop star, the best computer programmer, martial artists. Really is the best of the best. And you'll play the role of someone with no talent, who win a place at the school by luck of the draw, really. So it ends in the most luckiest student. So that's normal-ish. But the school is actually run by a crazy robotic bear who decides to imprison all the students forevermore. The only way out is to kill a fellow student without anyone finding out you did it. So, yeah, takes a bit of a dark turn.
Is it any good?
But it's a bit long-winded, and it is really dark, with a little bit of humour as well. And the characters are quite interesting. But I think the best of it is figuring out who killed the person. Because you've got a bit of a trial, and you have to use the evidence to dismiss their claims. And that's the clever bit. It is very long-winded.
Right.
That's the only downside. I think Richard reviewed it. So if you want an in-depth review, read Richard's review.
What did you give it,
I think
Richard?
it's spot on.
I think I give it 3.5 stars.
Okay.
Pretty much everything James has said is what I picked up on as well. It's a visual novel, but it's like 20-25 hours long.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
all I'm glad is that someone else has played one of James's games. That they exist.
It makes a change, doesn't it?
Yeah. Good. What I've been playing, I'm playing a lot of games at the moment I can't talk about, but I played a game that's reviewed on the site called Don't Be Afraid, which is like a first-person survival horror. And it basically puts you in the shoes of an 11-year-old boy who wakes up in a sort of like murder room, like an escape room filled to it, like a Saw environment. And you get talked to by this character called Mr. Franklin, who's just kind of like spooky kind of voice. And you basically have to get out of this house. And all you've got with you is a candle, really. That's the only thing you can use. And if the candle goes out, you won't go to certain areas because it's too scary, it's too dark. Even though beside you is someone who's been hacked up to pieces. But it's a bit dark over there. But don't worry about the bloody corpse next to the. But you keep walking by every 2 seconds, and you basically it is like an escape room. So you're kind of just working out puzzles, where to get keys. Like for example, your candle keeps going out because there's this is a very simple one. There's pipes of water, so you have to work out how to turn the water off so you can get through and light the area. There's kind of like clues to what to get next, levers to pull. What happens as well? They use mannequins really nicely again. So Mr. Franklin's made this sort of like room full of very scary mannequins. So it has a typical thing, and the mannequins might help you. They might point to what you've got to do. They might have switches on that you had to activate to open doors. But also it has that great thing when you walk, you look behind you and they change position, or they're getting closer to you. So. But there's still that great kind of like trope, and the whole thing is really kind of like horror tropey, as in there's nothing original here, but what they do really well. They're kind of like the atmosphere in the room, and you find out as you go there are other kids who have been here as well, and you're picking up tapes and you're working out, and they're helping you by leaving you clues to get out. But the only bad thing is there's some chase sections when a sort of evil brother chases you, and they're not so good. Like running away from. Almost Slender Man type things, and you're running around. But it's good though. I gave it 3.5. I think it was a really good, a good one of that genre. It kept me really intrigued. It's only short, 3 to 4 hours or something. Yeah, don't be afraid. I think it's out now. It's good. Right, everyone. I think we're only going to do one review. I'm so sorry. I know you've got more to talk about. We haven't got enough time. You all gutted? Upset?
You won't miss mine.
Okay, good. But we will
devastated.
We do. Were you going to talk about Nowhere Profit? I think you talked about that before.
I don't think I did. I think I left it out. It was interesting enough.
All right, good.
Oh, it's been passed over again.
Again, that's never going to. It did come out 10 years ago.
One night.
Now the thing is, there's 2 games I just want to talk about. Is anyone doing Crossfire?
Yes, I picked that up.
Now it's been really slagged off, Darren. Just really briefly, is it bad?
So I've not spent much time with it at the moment, but I believe there were loads of server issues and all sorts of things from what I've seen. But I've not really played that much of it yet, to be honest.
All right. Yeah, it's not getting good press, is it? That's what I'm saying.
No, I was a look on the store, and it has been user review bombed quite heavily recently. Right, so they've got a job on their hands to turn it around.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what the actual gameplay's like now. They're putting in fixes and whatnot, because as we'll come on to in a bit, there have been quite a few games with rocky launches over the past couple of years, haven't there?
Yeah. And the other big one that just suddenly appeared, I think it was yesterday, Cyberpunk 2077, the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5.
It's back.
Release. It's just there's no mucking around. It was just like, here we go, here it is. And I think if you've got the Series X version of the PS5, you can just. I think PS5 is a bit more complicated, but Series X, you just do an upgrade and then you're ready to go, aren't you?
Happy days.
Richard, have you been playing it?
Yeah, I installed it as soon as this patch came out yesterday.
Right.
So I've played about 2.5 hours.
How you getting on with it?
It's okay so far. Graphically, it's not blowing me away as much as I would hope, but I've only just got to a part where I can fully start to explore.
Yeah.
Up till this point, it's pretty much been doing what I've been told to do with like the opening few hours, mainly are anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I think I can start to put my own stamp on it now a little bit and see what it's all about. So yeah.
Where did you start? What story?
I started with Nomad.
Oh, I didn't know Nomad.
Yeah, because I just wanted to see the outside bit first, because I don't think you do with the other 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 30, 40 minutes driving around this little backwater town and then straight into Night City.
Yeah. And Darren, have you played it? Have you played it yet?
Not to any great degree. So Ryan got it originally for his PS5, and we played a little bit of it. But but I got put off because it's such a big game as well. Because I remember going to I think it might have been the year I saw you in Neil at EGX.
Yeah.
There was like a tech presentation, but I was really excited, and then I was let down when it released, and I kind of forgot about it, to be quite honest. So this probably is a good time to go in and replay it, but just trying to make the time. It's a poor excuse, but trying to make the time at the moment is a bit of a challenge. I would like to revisit it though, but Richard doesn't sound overflowing with praise at the moment. So,
James, are you going to do it? Because you said you were only going to play it when the Xbox Series X version.
Yeah, that was the plan. I keep weighing up, is it worth diving into such a big game? Will it give me the joy of Gems of War, for example? It's a tough one. I might do.
That's a benchmark right there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Gems of War, nothing with me.
Yeah, I know. It's not that long. You'll do the main story in 20 hours. Yeah, it's not huge. It's not a massive game. But with all the side quests and all the things you can do, it'd be hours and hours and hours on it. But it's. I mean, I think I was the only one who gave it a really good review on the first time it came out. I loved it. I thought it was good fun. But I didn't have any bugs because I was playing it on my Series X then. So I had a couple of things that happened, but nothing major, nothing ridiculous. And I really liked the city design. I thought the city design was amazing. The kind of levels of it, you can smell it. It was like really good. But yeah, I had a good time with it. Would I go back? Maybe there's some DLC. I don't think I'm going to go back to see it. Crowd looking a bit more interesting. But yeah, it's interesting that he just threw it out there. I mean, it's almost felt like they were just going, let's get this out of the way. Let's get it out.
To be fair, I did forget. Yeah, I did forget that they were still working on it. After initially it was like, oh, well, in a few weeks there's going to be this patch, and I've just completely forgot about it. So it did take me by surprise when they just dropped it. Good,
yeah. Well, Richard, let us know next time you're on. How are you getting on with it?
Will do.
Yeah, good. This links us onto a bit of news. I'm going to see if I can link all the news in some way. Let's see if I can do that. That'd be quite impressive, wouldn't it? Sorry? Someone's...
You're off to a good start.
Yes. So, the Witcher 3 director and Cyberpunk veterans from that company I can't remember the name of. You lot can help me out.
CD Projekt Red.
Thank you. They announced a new studio, and they're producing an RPG, a dark fantasy RPG. Is it good? Interest of anyone? I mean, we were talking about The Witcher the other day, wasn't it? I'd forgotten about The Witcher. But it was a really good game, James. You loved it, didn't you?
I absolutely adored The Witcher 3. I tried the other two, I couldn't get on with them, but the third one was fantastic. Apart from the books, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got really lost in that world. Loved it.
Are they doing another Witcher game? The studio, the one that I've forgotten the name of already, even though Darren just told me.
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, James. I'll do the next one.
No worries. James. I have no idea what the plans are for Witcher 4.
But they were going to do one, weren't they?
I don't know. I think it was assumed, but did we ever get confirmation? Because I think we all just assumed they would. But now I think about it, I can't remember seeing anything.
Oh.
I think they're doing a patch for the Xbox Series X and S for Witcher 3 at the moment.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
right.
I think that's the next thing they'll be coming out from The Witcher. Unless is Gwent getting another...
Oh yeah, the card game.
Release, I think, at some point.
Yeah. That's getting something in it. Some kind of adaptation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this good.
I didn't understand Gwent.
No, I don't.
Gwent was weird.
Yeah, there's something in Assassin's Creed. There's a game that went mad as well. The latest Assassin's Creed that I couldn't really get my head around as well. Viking kind of card game. Good. Yeah, so that's interesting. We don't know what that's about. Anything. I mean, what I imagine is there'd be some wrestling in it in an RPG sense. Which brings us on to.
I mean, that was
bad, wasn't it?
tenuous.
There was many ways to do that, and that was the worst way.
I forgot I was having to do it, and then I got really. I will try to. So I'm just bringing this up because we've got two big wrestling fans here, not necessarily WWE fans of the games, but the new wrestling game 2K22 is coming out in March, isn't it? And they've just done this trailer, and you can be you can be a manager, can't you, of a brand? Is that right? Tell us about it. James and Richard. Tell me. James first, and then Richard can join in.
Really, me?
Yeah, or Richard.
I'm literally I'm so far out of the loop.
Oh, okay.
Richard for the best.
Richard, tell us. What is a games manager, or it's called?
GM. My GM mode for WWE 2K22. It almost looks a little bit like if WWE was doing a football manager game. So you can do a draft as to which brand you want, whether you Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, and then you can draft wrestlers to your brand and set up the roster and the card for the night, and then set up the big events and basically manage that team. But my big issue with this is, and I'm sure James would agree with me on this, it's that many would argue that for the past 12 to 18 months, WWE hasn't known how to manage itself. And yet the latest game's putting you in control of it. So I think secretly they're looking for people that do well in this mode and be like, oh, maybe this is the guy to save WWE.
Yeah, okay. James, are you convinced by this? Would it get you back into the game?
I think Richard's right in that it's similar to Football Manager in the way it works, as in, you have to control most aspects of it. But I think because it's focused on one promotion, it doesn't really work as well. Right. If you had different companies and you brought them all together, then there's a bit of rivalry, a bit more, fantasy booking. I think one of the big problems as well, and you might have, is a lot of people in the game might not even be there anymore. They've released so many wrestlers in the past year, or year and a half, that I'm surprised they've got a roster at all.
Yeah.
I can probably count 40 wrestlers that have been cut that could have been in this game. And I think they'll keep a lot of them in there, because there isn't time to replace them. But this mode on its own won't convince me whatsoever. The proof is in the gameplay.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is probably going to be awful. Again.
Okay.
Like it always is.
Great.
Oh dear. I can't help here at all, but what Richard said, didn't that happen with Football Manager? A really good player got appointed to manage a real football team in one of the lower leagues, or did I imagine that?
Yeah, I want to say Afghanistan?
Was it a national team? Wow.
It might have been the national team at one point, but I definitely do remember something like that actually happening, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you might be onto something there with this then.
Yeah, this is it. This could be your new career, both of you.
It can't be that bad. It can't be that hard job.
What I like about wrestling is they're like animals. They're like wolves. Which brings us on to The Wolf Among Us 2.
Oh, you had me there. I thought you were going to make a serious point about it.
So, last week we were on the podcast. The Wolf Among Us 2 trailer was showing, and it showed when we had a look at it. Who's played the first one here? Darren, have you played the first one? Telltale?
I have not played the first one.
Uh-huh.
No.
James, you've played it. Tell us, is this excited you?
I mean, it was a long time ago, but I do quite enjoy the graphic novels it's based on, Fables. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a sequel massively. And if you've seen the trailer, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
it's in good shape.
Yeah, it does. Visually, it looks good, doesn't it? It looks very different.
Yeah, it looks a lot better, even though it's still using is it cell shading?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting characters as well.
Yeah.
If you notice the new ones.
I've read all the Fables. Would you believe? So
All
it's all of them. It's a brilliant universe and really great kind of comic novel. Richard, have you had a look at that? Have you played the game?
I haven't, no, but this trailer looked really good. So I might try and find it somewhere.
Yeah, see if you can play the first one.
Did they put it back on the store, or has it disappeared still?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Let's check that out.
Yeah. The whole thing, it's great because it's really filmic, which is very interesting because Bioshock is being made into a film on Netflix.
Oh, there we go.
Getting worse.
This is getting bad, isn't it? I don't know how I'm going to get
If
through
you're
this.
still hosting next week, I'm surprised.
I've made a vow. I've got to do it now to the end. Bioshock. Netflix are going to do, I think, a movie, isn't it? Maybe it's a series. I don't know, but they're definitely going to bring it into life. This franchise. Personally, I think the Bioshock world is a really good one to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. It does make me a bit nervous, though, because I love Bioshock and all the games, so it could go horribly wrong. That's the only risk.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, exactly. I think it's really interesting, because I was just thinking about other... I was just talking... I think I put in here other game franchises, and, we've got the Uncharted movie that's coming out this month that I just don't fancy at all.
No, I'm not bothered about that, really.
Because the game's a great action game. I have no interest in seeing highlights of the games on thing. But I'm really excited for The Last of Us HBO series.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know why I'm really excited for that. I just think that could be quite interesting in that world. And I think maybe Bioshock again it could be really interesting because I think the characterizations are great in this. The people which is a lot of fun for the kind of writing of it and the performance, and the world, of course, is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I think there is a real opportunity. I suppose it depends how they approach it. Have you seen the trailer for the Halo series? I'm still a little bit on the fence about how it's going to be. They've clearly designed Master Chief really well, but I just don't know how they're going to do it in a series.
Which is a great link because we're talking about Paramount. Thank you. Darren's linked me for perfect. Paramount.
Oh, that's that one.
Paramount's got a UK release date, the Paramount Plus, which Halo is on. And so there's another subscription service coming to us to spend more money on. Darren, you were just saying about Halo. Would you get Paramount Plus just to watch the Halo series? You're a massive Halo fan.
Yeah, I think I probably will, because also it's got Star Trek Discovery on there, which the first 3 series were on Netflix and I really enjoyed. So there are at least 2 things that I'd like to watch. So it probably means I'm gonna, even if it's just a trial or a few months, I'm probably gonna watch what I want to watch and then stop it for a bit.
Yeah, Richard, you a big fan into the Paramount I literally forgot where I was. I could have been anywhere. I thought, I'm getting out now.
I thought you'd been blown away.
I felt like it. Are you a big fan of Halo? Do you want to see the TV series? Would it get you to get a Paramount Plus subscription?
I'm similar to Darren on this. I'm a bit on the fence. I think that trailer for the TV series looks absolutely garbage. But
yeah,
it's Halo at the same time, innit? So
yeah,
I do want to see what it's like. But Paramount Plus, I think, is going to have South Park stuff on there as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is of interest to me, and I don't know. I think they announced the new Beavis and Butthead film, but I don't know whether that would be exclusive to this or whether that'd be in the cinema.
Right.
So I don't know.
Okay. I mean, also, I think they've got other cinema releases in there as well that are coming out. I think there's a Margot Robbie film coming out. Maybe I've forgotten the name of the director. So they've got a few big, and another new Star Trek film's been announced, isn't it? With that. Yeah.
And The Quiet Place 3 got announced as well today.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, I like those films.
There you go. Darren's sold. He's in.
There you go. You've done a great job. Are you getting commission?
I think the problem is the Halo thing as well. Is that how do you do? I think someone mentioned this before. Is how do you do the grunts? What are they going to look like? Those weird.
Hopefully they don't look like the Goombas in the Super Mario film, because that's what I've got in my head at the moment.
Because they're just running around saying stuff, aren't they? Like,
they're cowards, basically. Yeah.
So that's going to be a bit strange. Yeah. Also, with the Star Trek movies, when are they going to end and go into another one? Like Windows is ending its Xbox support on its phone. This is terrible.
Wow.
Who put this one in? What's going on? I don't know anything about Windows phones, so someone else can tell me.
I put this one on.
Yeah.
So basically, I've had a Windows phone since my previous work decided they weren't going to bother with Android or iPhones. They were going to give us all cheap, shitty Windows phone. But I have used it for quite a few Windows Phone titles. But this is the announcement that in 3 months, in May, Windows phones are ending Xbox support. I think the stores closed a long time ago for these phones. You weren't able to buy new games anywhere. But those that you did have on there, you've got like 3 months to scoop up all the achievements that you want, because then they won't be supported in the future, in a few months' time.
Wow. Well, but is this the end for Windows phones? Is that what they're saying as well? Are they kind of trying to wind down Windows phones?
Yeah, it never really took off, did it? I mean, they've tried with a few different operating systems on Windows phones, and I think the one that I had was Windows 8, with all the tiles and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the best that they could manage. But yeah, it is a bit of a shame, because there was a lot of potential there, but they never really. The phones weren't that great anyway.
Right.
The hardware itself, I think the one I got was a Nokia, which Nokia in the late 2010s was almost non-existent. So
they were massive, weren't they? I remember having a 3310 when I was a teenager.
Yeah, it was just all identity when everyone else sort of.
Yeah. James, have you got a Windows phone? Would you be interested in that? Now it's got no Xbox support.
Not in the slightest.
Okay.
Never was before, but not now.
Not me.
Stick with Samsung.
James, you got any more questions? Because if you haven't...
Speaking of questions...
Yeah, speaking of questions, that was my leg. That's good. Yeah, very good.
You made it. Well done.
We're going to go to Richard now with a quiz.
Right. Flipping heck. So I've done another quiz. This one is sort of based on Gareth's infamous Metacritic quizzes, but I've gone for quotes off the back of the disc cases this time.
Ooh.
So rather than it being 5, it's only 3 quotes, so it'd be 3, 2, 1 in terms of points. But I think I'm gonna have to do it as buzzing in, because I don't think it would work with taking it in turns with 3 people so much. But
Okay.
if you buzz in and you get it wrong, you're frozen out of that question.
Good.
Because otherwise, I just think there's going to be buzzing in everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite
right. So, with that said, Darren, I don't think you've ever had a buzzer before, have you?
I don't think I have, no. I'm trying to wrap my brains on what to do for a buzzer. I might just say buzz and do that. That'll do the job, won't it?
Like it.
Sorted.
So, Gareth, you're low. James, you're high.
Good.
Darren, you're buzz.
Great.
What can go wrong?
So I have 8 games, and if you get it right on the first one, you get 3 points, and so on.
Okay.
So the first game, the first quote from the box is: an open-world action-adventure story set in a megalopolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modification. Gareth.
Cyberpunk 277?
Straight in there, well done.
Good.
Well played.
So that's 3 points for that one. The other 2 were: you can customize your character's cyberware skill set and play style, or you play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind implant.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Richard.
Game number 2, the first quote, "Justice is blind."
It's not worth the risk.
Yeah, it's hard. You don't want to take the risk, do you? Justice is blind. Don't know.
Okay, I'll move on to the next one. From thrilling confrontations to unexpected plot twists, this dark cinematic mystery is yours to solve.
Wow. A cinema mystery. Oh. Can you read that again, that second one? Sorry, Richard.
Yep. From thrilling confrontations to unexpected plot twists, this dark cinematic mystery is yours to solve.
I'm going to go for it.
Gareth?
L.A. Noire?
It's a very good guess, but I'm afraid it's wrong.
Damn. I'm out.
Shall I move on to the last one?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
After getting a murderer acquitted, fallen attorney Takayuki Yagami begins his personal quest for redemption.
Oh, yeah.
James?
Is it Judgment?
Well done.
Well done.
Get in.
Right.
Game number 3, first quote is, "Discover where the journey began."
Sounds familiar.
It really does, doesn't it?
To be fair, it's probably the words in every trailer for a prequel film.
It is quite nondescript, that
Mm.
No. Nothing.
I'll move on. Experience the original brutal challenge, completely remade from the ground up.
Buzz.
Darren?
It's not Demon Souls, is it?
Oh, it only well is.
Well done, Darren. Good. I was thinking Dark Souls, stupidly, and I didn't think of
I thought
Demon
Dark
Souls.
Souls.
Yeah.
I did it first, and then it kind of twigged. I thought, oh, it must be.
Very good.
Well played. Game number 4. Fire up a wild ride across the cosmos with a fresh take on this franchise.
No, no idea.
It's a franchise bit that's getting me.
Yeah, that's what's making me
Yeah.
think.
For that one, it is the name of the game, but I removed it and put this franchise because obviously, if I said it, it'd give it away.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Could you read it again, please?
Yeah, fire up a wild ride across the cosmos with a fresh take on this franchise. James.
Is it Guardians of the Galaxy?
It is. Well,
Oh,
that's a
damn!
great-
Yeah.
great shout.
Very good. Oh, damn.
well done.
Very good.
Cheers.
Game number 5. Outnumbered but never outgunned.
Oh,
It could be a couple of games, that.
yeah. Oh, that really rings a bell as well.
Oh, it could be mini game. I can't take a risk on that.
No, I'm not prepared to risk it
Go on,
just
risk it. Go on. Here we go.
I will move on. Choose from over 100 characters featuring original cast, ancestors, and new lovable rogues you'll want to blast.
Hmm.
Wow. Nothing for me. Darren?
That's made it more difficult for me. I've no idea.
It's completely taken me off track. No idea now.
Okay, I'll go with the last one. Battle your way through 9 time-travelling episodes, each with their own distinct graphical style, ranging from the Wild West.
Buzz. Oh, just beat me.
Just Gareth in time.
Overwatch.
No.
Oh, no!
Oh, I think I know it. Buzz.
Darren.
Is it Time Splitters Future Perfect?
No.
Oh.
James.
Is it Time Splitters 2?
It is Time Splitters.
Oh, it's so cruel. It's so
Cheers,
cruel.
Darren.
Oh, well done, Darren. Unlucky. James is evil.
Yeah.
Sorry, Darren. I put that one specifically for you as well.
Oh, yeah. I do prefer Time Splitters 2 as well, but I thought it had more levels for some reason.
Mm.
Game number 6. First quote is relive the adventure.
Jesus.
That is generic, isn't it?
No.
No.
Okay, I'll move on. Experience epic challenges and re-encounter the fiery personalities.
That's hard.
I thought there was a clue in there, but I'm not picking up on it.
There's definitely in there. There's a couple of clues in there.
Can you read it again?
Experience epic challenges and re-encounter the fiery personalities.
No.
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 Okay, last one. 3 games and over 100 levels to explore.
That's a lot of levels.
It's a lot of levels.
I never played that many levels. No, okay, nice.
3 games, though. Oh. Oh,
guess.
God. I've got nothing to guess. I can't even guess anything.
Oh.
Jim.
Oh,
Is it the Oddworld trilogy?
I think I know what it is.
Steve was in it. Yeah.
I will. Is it the Spyro Reignited trilogy?
It is, well done.
Hey! Brilliant, Darren.
I was nearly right. I said trilogy.
Richard, can we have a
Close enough.
score update for the last 2 games before we go into it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So both Gareth and Darren have 3 points, and James is in the lead with 5 points.
Oh, we need to really up our game in this one.
We do.
6 points still on offer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all to play for.
I need to get one.
Game number 7. Conquer your foes in vicious close quarter combat.
Oh, I can't risk that.
No, I can't.
No,
Not yet.
none of us are risking it.
Okay, second one. Venture into the brutal Norse wilds and fight to fulfill a deeply personal quest. James?
Half I'm right. Is it Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
I'm afraid it's not.
Ooh.
Is it God of War?
Well done.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Oh.
There were only 2 options.
Yeah, no, they weren't. I was thinking, give me any of those 2. Thank God for you,
Oh,
then.
no.
This is good.
The last one was discover an emotionally gripping tale of father and son.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyone can still win it.
Yeah.
Come on, Darren.
Come down. If
Darren,
you do it.
Get a 2-pointer.
I don't, because I ain't got a time break.
Okay, I'll win then.
For last game, evolve past what nature intended to become the ultimate apex predator.
Buzz.
Darren?
Is it Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
No,
Oh,
good guess.
Good
It's
guess.
not. We went for broke though, and I
I
improved.
had to.
Good effort. Anyone else want to risk it on that one?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Eat your way up the food chain, battling for aquatic supremacy.
Oh, I know it.
Oh, God, forgotten it. Oh.
Oh no.
I know what it is now.
Is it Man-Eater?
Yes!
Yeah, well played.
Oh,
Well done,
that was
James.
close.
Well
I nearly
played.
said
For me as well.
Subnautica.
Yeah.
That would have been devastating. Oh.
Well done,
Yeah.
James.
Well
That's
played,
good.
Well played, everyone.
Very good quiz,
Richard.
Richard.
Points.
I enjoyed that.
Cheers, Richard.
Very good.
It's
Love
a good
that.
job I was working from home today, and I had a lot of video game boxes to read.
Yeah. That's a winner, that one.
Yeah.
I appreciate the love for the physical media as well.
Yes, 100%. That's secretly.
And decent quotes.
Yeah.
It helps
Yeah.
have good quotes.
Okay.
There was a lot of games that were just so generic that couldn't be used.
Mm.
Very good. Right, let's go on to what we're looking forward to next week. Richard, what are you looking forward to?
On Saturday, I can eat cake without feeling guilty about it because we're going to the place that's making our wedding cake for some testing.
Oh,
Ooh,
good.
nice.
that's
So I'm really looking forward to that.
brilliant.
Very nice.
Very good. What are you hoping for? What you get? What's your feeling at the moment?
I think we're going to have mixed tiers.
Ah.
So we're obviously going to have a fruitcake tier,
Mm.
which might be the smallest one because I can do without that stuff.
When you say fruitcake, can you have Jaffa cake? Does that count? It's orange.
I like a Jaffa cake. That'd be amazing.
That would be good.
See what they've got on offer. I might suggest that to them. They'll steal that idea and start making Jaffa cake cakes.
Yeah. Darren, what about you? What are you doing?
So, all being well, we're going to Poland next week for a few days, which will be lovely. Not been away for about 3 years abroad, so we've still got to do a negative COVID test in the 24-hour window before we land, though. So, I've ordered them, and I'm hoping it all goes okay.
I'm sure it will. It'll be great. Poland will be great. James, what about you?
There's a new Korean drama on Disney Plus called Snowdrop, and it stars Jisoo of Blackpink. So I've been watching that relentlessly for the next week.
Great.
It's quite long.
What's it about?
It's set in the late 80s during quite a lot of political drama in Korea.
Oh.
It's about, I think it's a love story though between a North Korean and a South Korean, ultimately.
Nice.
Yeah, it could be good. You never know.
Yeah. I'm going to be playing on Friday at 10 o'clock, maybe Thursday night, Horizon Forbidden West, which is out.
Of course.
Which I'm really looking forward to. It's done really well this week. It's got some nice reviews, I think, from generally across the board. Maybe most of it's in the 9s. So I've got that on its way. If I ever stop working, I'm going to get to play it. Be good. Yeah, really fun. Right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's get if you want to get in touch with you and talk about cakes. Richard, where do we get hold of you?
I'll be on Twitter and Instagram at Dobbo1912.
And Darren, if you want to talk about Poland, what are we going to
I will be on Twitter as well, and you can find me at 27Darren.
Brilliant. And James, if you want to talk about love over the North and South Korean border, where do we talk to you?
On Twitter and Instagram at OKUKO.
And you
Right.
you can find me for anything else at TB Briley on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. Right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub, and search The Xbox Hub on Facebook.